many of you, by a show of hands, have heard the name Larry Nassar? Wow, that's a lot. For those of you who don't know who Larry is, he was sentenced and is spending the rest of his life in prison for sexually abusing over 500 girls. I was one of his first. I'm here today to pay tribute to an army of women who came together to put away one of the most prolific serial pedophiles of all time. Not just the sister survivors, but the other women who pushed the boundaries, who saw something was wrong, and who did something about it. I'm going to start my story at age 37, at a point what some might call a midlife crisis, but I'm choosing to call it a midlife enlightenment. I was a high achiever, Ivy League, Wall Street, law school, business school, corporate consultant for Fortune 500 companies, money, success, but also 2 massive pelvic reconstructive surgeries, extremely compromised fertility, migraines, anxiety, depression, suicidal. Something I'm going to share with you that is very vulnerable for me to say here is that the only way that I could fall asleep at night was to picture my own death over and over again until I fell asleep. It was the only thing that soothed me and the only thing that brought me peace. But in the fall of 2016, everything changed. I was sitting in my office and I got a text message from a girlfriend of mine with a link to an article in the Indianapolis Star. I clicked on the link and it said, former USA gymnastics doctor accused of abuse, with a picture of Larry Nassar. My first thought was, not my Larry, my most loved one, trusted one of the most formative males in my entire childhood, someone whose wedding I went to, someone who came to every one of my birthday parties, not my Larry. But then I read the accounts of the 2 brave survivors that came forward in that article, and it hit me. That intravaginal and anal treatment that I had been receiving from 8 years old through 25 years old, 3 to 4 times a week, every year, was not, in fact, medical treatment, and it was not, in fact, designed to help me. It was the sexual abuse of a child. It was a lot. I had been groomed. My parents had been groomed. My entire community had been groomed by this man. We loved Larry. We believed Larry. We believed in Larry. Larry's first reaction was to deny everything and blame everyone else. He blamed the police, the lawyers, and the community. They rallied around him. They supported him. Officials at the U.S. Olympic Committee, Michigan State University, and USA Gymnastics supported Larry. But they did not know Gina Nichols and Lynn Raisman, mothers of champion gymnasts, who, when with their daughters, they came forward and alerted USA Gymnastics in the FBI 1 year before the Indy Star article came out, and nothing happened. They did not stop. When the USA Gymnastics and the FBI did nothing, these 2 mamas wouldn't let it go. And they did not know the brilliant Rachel Denhollander, the first woman to come forward publicly, the impetus for that Indy Star article, the woman who blew this whole thing wide open. And they did not know Olympic champion Jamie Dancher, one of the first women to come forward and the first to file a civil lawsuit. They did not know Hall of Fame rhythmic gymnast Jessica Howard or national champion gymnast Jeanette Antolin, who along with Jamie, the three of them came forward and they were the first to go on camera on a 60 Minutes interview to speak their truths about Larry Nassar when no one else had come forward yet. And they did not know Detective Lieutenant Andrea Munford of the Michigan State Police Department, who did what other law enforcement and the FBI had refused to do. She served a search warrant, and she went to Larry's house and opened his trash cans about to be picked up by the garbage man, and in his trash cans, she found hard drives that had 37,000 images of child pornography on them, including infants. And Larry's supporters did not know Assistant Attorney General Angela Povolitis, who, as part of the plea deal she struck with Larry, insisted that every victim of Larry get the chance to deliver a victim impact statement, to walk into that courtroom and stand at that podium 4 feet away from Larry and look in his eyes and tell him the destruction that he had caused. At the time, I was not ready to put my name on this list. I was only known as victim 125. Here is a portion of my victim impact statement. So what you need to hear from me today is this. When a grown man penetrates the vagina of a small girl, or does anything at all to compromise her sense of trust or safety, the course of her life is changed forever. In that moment, when you had each and every girl who was here this week on your table, not to mention the hundreds and thousands, potentially, of girls who are not here or who have not yet come forward. In that split second, when you made the choice to put that finger inside of our little tiny bodies for the first time, not for medical treatment, but for your own pleasure, you changed the entire course of our lives. One moment, one finger, you took something from us that we will never, ever get back. Our innocence, our childhoods, and in a sense, our virginities. Those were not yours to take. And Larry's supporters, they did not know Maura Mant. Maura is the executive producer of the ESPY Awards. And Maura approached me and asked me to come forward publicly for the first time live on national television. And this time, I was ready. Speaking up and speaking out is not easy. Telling our stories of abuse over and over and over again in graphic detail is not easy. We're sacrificing privacy, we're being judged and scrutinized, and it's grueling and it's painful, but it is time. As a mother, I am here to say that we must start caring about children's safety more than we care about adults' reputations. And as a survivor, I am here to say that we can, if we can just give one person the courage to use their voice, this is worth it. If one more victim of sexual abuse feels less alone tonight, then our suffering has meaning. On behalf of this army of women and the other men and women who have joined our army, we are dedicated to, and this is worth repeating, we are dedicated to caring more about children's lives, children's dreams and children's safety more than we care about adults' reputations and more than we care about the institutions. And if we can give our children a voice, and we must give our children a voice, it would be to say, question authority. Think for yourself and use and trust your intuition. I was victim 125. I am attorney Sarah Klein. Thank you.